Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have here an article concerning the current Chancellor of the great nation of Germany, and unfortunately this gentleman called Olaf Scholz, he's not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. I gotta tell you that, not because I don't like the guy, his face or whatever. I really analyzed his statements for about a year. I didn't pay attention to this weasel until maybe 2 months before the war started last year. So that would be about, I don't know, some December 2021 or January 2022, when he started making headlines as an idiot. That's my assessment of his statements. And if you really want to see him at work, as I just mentioned, you might want to watch a press conference between Putin, evil Putin, and Scholz in Moscow. When this guy, Scholz, he makes a statement regarding there was never, since the Second World War, this would be the first war in Europe if Russia starts, the Russian-Ukraine war. And Putin, of course, corrects this short-minded leader of the German nation, if you can believe that, saying, how about Yugoslavia 1999? It's priceless to see how Scholz does this when he's told. A little bit smaller movement than I made, but he'll turn his head down and is like looking at his paper or something. Just watch that. So for me, there was like, this guy is a know-nothing. So what did he do now? Let's see. Back to the article. So this article comes from Ukrainska Pravda, and this is what Scholz says. Putin has to withdraw troops from Ukraine. This is basic condition for talks. Well, I have one question for Mr. Scholz. I have a lot of them actually, but I don't think he can comprehend them. I'm honest with you. What was one of the reasons? I know it was unprovoked, I give you that. But what was one of the reasons those evil Russians are claiming they invaded the independent sovereign country of Ukraine again? Do you remember what they were saying for about, 8 years? He either doesn't remember he didn't remember 1999 Yugoslavia, that makes him very low IQ, or he knew, or he knows, but he chooses to ignore it. That means he's a weasel, all right? He probably is a weasel because he works in the democratic systems. So if he's in a democratic system in Deutschland, that tells me that the fact that he is the Chancellor of the great nation of Germany, he must have gotten over there by being a a guy who wins the popularity contest, or a guy who's working behind the scenes and then he gets the position. I don't think he succeeded by being smart or good. And I will tell you what Putin and Russia told these guys for 8 years, and it didn't go deep in this Dummkopf of Mr. Scholz. And that is, we have to, the Russians claim, I know has no evidence, but hear me. We have to intervene in eastern Ukraine, where Russian nationals are killed by the Ukrainian army with tanks and artillery since 2014. And they claim that about between 10 and 15,000 Russians, mind you, Ukrainian citizens, were killed by the Ukrainian army, tanks and artillery in all these 8 years. Is it true? All right. So that was one reason why they claim, the evil Russians, invaded Ukraine, because those people were killed by the other ones. So now the Russians got those people under, according to the evil Russians, their protection. Now this idiot says Putin has to withdraw troops from Ukraine. This is basic condition for talks. So that means he has to leave off those guys that now are under his protection. One of the reasons why they, in the first place, invaded, to go back here, leave these guys here, and these beautiful Ukrainians will just come over and give them bonbons and flowers, ladies of the night, free movies, vodka, and they will be blood brothers, right? Iron Maiden, blood brothers. That's what they're gonna be. I mean, how idiot or criminal can you be to think like this? So that's why, for me, this guy, Scholz, I think he can be both. He can be a weasel, he can be a and he can be a but nothing good. None of these things are good. And he says, in order to talk, you need to go back where you were before you invaded. Well, why didn't we talk then? Scholz, why didn't you talk in December 2021? Why didn't you go to Biden or whomever and smack him and say, let's talk to the Russians because they want some, law-abiding guarantees for their security and safety? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you show your dingalingy a little bit, not dingalingy, and go over there and say that? On the contrary, what you did, you shut down Nord Stream 2. You impose sanctions on your own country and own citizens. And you tell Putin to do that? You're not very bright, not courageous, and you are, I think, I don't want to make this as accidental. Because when you see a person over there that commits a crime, immediately he plays, incapacity, I didn't know what I was doing, and people, okay, let's do some tests and so on. No, I don't take that. Or he's just, funny, or no, he's not funny at all. He is a guy like that. Committed a crime, he is a criminal, and if he talks in those kind of terms and he avoided a crime to occur, he also can be called an accomplice. So for these guys just to think that, and moreover to express it loudly, what does that tell you? Let me give you this. I know the German nation, which I admire a lot since I was a tiny little boy, okay? Is an educated country. Remember in 1920s, 30s, 40s, the German society was one of the most educated, or not the most educated country and society on the planet. On the planet, including the United States of America. And people say, hey, why did so many countries in Europe align themselves with Germany and Germany? Well, I know from ancestors that told me. They said Germany was the power. Germany had the technology. Germany was advanced. Germany was that. It was not the United States. It was not France. It was not Great Britain. It was Germany. They talk about Germany. That's why they learned Germany. That's why they went over there to learn certain stuff in Germany. I'm not saying the other ones were dumb, but it was a very educated society. And what did they do? They voted what? With whom? And then who's got being chancellor? Who? In 1933? I think it was in February or something, or 30th of January or something like that. Who was that guy? So how can you say, that Germany is dumb when they voted this guy or they voted whomever? These guys are appointed by the chancellors, whatever, by whomever. I mean, they are not appointed. Their parties are voted in the office and so on. They create coalitions and then they decide who's who and who's not. Remember, Adolf was, I think he was appointed as a chancellor by Hindenburg. Is that how his name is? It was Hindenburg. I can't remember his name. The guy over there. So anyway, this is another thing. Are the Germans educated now? I think they are, and they have this weasel as a boss. Now, if that guy in 1930 was an idiot, how come this one is an idiot again? What's going on here? Somewhere there's something that doesn't work. You can't have two idiots in the most educated country in the world. Society. Germany, Deutschland, what's going on? Now you tell me this. And this, he is a genius compared with a foreign minister, Annalena Baerbock. Now how can you have these people with so low IQs being in charge of such an educated country through democratic system of elections. How can this be possible? And you tell me the system and democracy, bring democracy somewhere else with these guys? Look at Kamala Harris and look at that guy who's barely conscious. Kamala Harris doesn't know anything. I mean, besides using her right hand or the left hand, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's her. And you got the other guy, do you think I'm kidding? He's gone. Democratic system. You got Boris Becker Johnson. Democratic system. You had, what's her name? Lizzie Lazy Lizard Truss. Democratic system. Please, give me some. But you have a dictator over there. And you have another dictator over there. And you have this guy over there, you have over there. What's going on here? And they go, Orban is bad. Orban, he's a genius compared with these guys, because he is. What's his name? Peter Szijjártó, again, foreign minister of Hungary. Genius. You have Annalena Baerbock, who said, if Putin wants to, something like she's not going to be punched in the face, he has to do a 360-degree turn. 360-degree turn? Did you mean 180? Get your freaking angles and degrees right. And that's the foreign minister of Deutschland with this idiot right here. Don't tell me about democracy. As long as you have any biped being allowed to go and vote, knows something or doesn't know shit about an issue, then you're gonna end up with these guys. And when you're gonna have a mass media that protects the system and gets these guys to vote and giving them information, and these guys don't know anything else about the subject but only what the mass media told them, then you're going to end up with this kind of people. And I think it's something more I have to read here in this little article, so I give him, it's not my interpretation only. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, this is March 5th, has said that the responsibility for ending the war in Ukraine lies with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Well, okay. And he says, to my view, oh my God, it is necessary that Putin understands that he will not succeed with his invasion and his imperialistic aggression, and that he has to withdraw troops. This is the basis for talks, he said in an interview that aired Sunday on CNN. Fareed Zakaria, oh my God, Zakaria, jeez. Okay, you want to see how Zakaria was kicked in his little balls? Just watch when he showed up in St. Petersburg, I think in economic forum in St. Petersburg, and he challenged Putin face to face, and he got smacked when Putin says, well, you're an intellectual where you come from. And then he kicked him in the little balls, and Zakaria was smiling, but that was not his smile. So, and again, I'm gonna read Scholz. There will be no decisions without the Ukrainians, saying Putin had clearly misjudged the strength of Ukraine. It's not Ukraine, it's 50 countries, Scholz. You're a wizard, you're a liar. As well as the unity, that's true, of the friends of Ukraine. I don't think they're so much friends as much they are hating the country that, how do you call it, attacked, with no reason, another country, sovereign country. I think it's the hatred for that country than is the help and love for the other one. But hey, what do I know? I think I know a lot. Compared with Scholz, I think I'm all right, A+. So this is, my friends, remember, he's a German. Annalena Baerbock, a German. German nation? How can you vote for this? And you're going to ask me, how can you vote for these guys? Well, if we use the same garbage, then yeah, that's the outcome. If you put garbage in, garbage out. If you know what I mean. Go and vote. Love democracy. I voted. I'm going to put those little round things. I voted with a heart. I voted. About what? I don't know. Biden and the evil Trump because he's rude. Okay. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.